How's it look?
Here we go.
All right, we are live. Today we are talking about some very important things. We're talking about the 4 steps to become a millionaire, steps that you can use today to start down this path. I'm going to wait about a minute to let some people kind of trickle in and kind of say hi or whatnot. I know a lot of people are probably going to watch this after the live video since it'll be available on Instagram. Also, I'm going to keep a version of this video on my YouTube. So I have a YouTube that has my name, so it's YouTube/Michael Blazkowicz that has other videos. I'm also going to post that here. So today you're going to learn some very important stuff that I was taught by people worth $50 million, $100 million, $150 million, and what you need to do to become a millionaire by the time you're, say you're 20, say it's 35, say it's 45. You know how long that's going to take you. So I got a clock here. We're going to go for 20 minutes. Make sure that you guys pay attention. At the beginning of the video, I'm going to go over some things, and at the end I'm going to ask a question where I give away $20. So make sure that you guys are focused. Stay at the beginning to the end to answer the question, to possibly win some money. So you might want to take some notes. I think this will be really crucial. So let's get right into it. So before I get into the 4 steps, I think that you need to start with some foundational material. So for me personally, I call it the 4 F's. But this is something that guides my life. So the first thing that I take a look at is faith. Faith is really important in my life, and it's whatever you believe in. You know, this could be, you know, Catholic, Jewish, whatever that you are. This is the foundation of me, where I get my morals, my ethics, and I pay attention to that. So these are things that I live by. Second is family. Family is very important to me. I'm fortunate enough to be on vacation with part of my family here today at Myrtle Beach, having a great time. So this is something that's important to me. So faith, family. Number 3 is fitness. Fitness is very important to me and something that's a good measure for everybody. Because say you do accumulate $1 million, say you accumulate $10 million by the time you're 45. But say you weren't focused on this and fitness and keeping your health together. You can't enjoy that money. You can't enjoy your time with your family. You can't enjoy your faith by giving back to the church or going on mission trips or whatnot. So this is very important as well to make sure that you are staying healthy for yourself and for your potential family or the family that you do have. And lastly, what we're talking about today that I think is very important, something that I am very passionate about, is finance. So these 4 foundations are something that I live by. When I wake up every single day, I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to increase these areas: faith, family, fitness, and finance. So now we're going to go into the 4 steps and start with number 1 on things that you can start doing today to make sure that you are headed in the right direction. So step 1 is goals. When I moved down to Findlay, Ohio for the first time, I ran into someone who had the dream car that I wanted, which was an Audi R8. And I was thinking, how could I get that? I want to talk to this guy. So when I went and talked to this guy, the first thing he told me is you need to set some goals. And this is something that you determine. Your goals are going to be different for everybody. My goals are going to be different than your goals or different from your grandma's goals. Because if you don't know where you're sailing, it's going to be tough. Say you're here in Myrtle Beach and you want to go north. You want to go to New York. You need to make sure that you're headed the right way, or else you're just kind of sailing all over the place. So something that you need to determine. Right now, if you have a pen and pencil, write down some goals and maybe even use these as something that you want to do. And these are financial goals. You can set goals for the 4 other foundations if you want to separately. So for example, you know, something that I have in here is donate $20,000 to a high school charity by 2025. I personally have a short-term 1-year, 5-year, 10-year, and 20-year goal. And within my 20-year goal, I want to donate a certain amount of money to my high school. So it's important that you have a dollar value here. You can't just say, I want to donate to charity. I want to donate to high school. Well, what does that mean, and how can you attain those goals? It has to be something attainable, something that you can do. Second, say you want to purchase a $300,000 house with 20% down by 2023. How am I going to get $60,000? Is that 20% of that? Something that you can go after, something that you can do on a day-to-day basis. Say you want to accumulate $100,000 in investments by 2021. You know, that's a goal that you could have. And then what we're going to talk about today is how can I accumulate $1 million? And specifically, I talked about 15 years here. Something that's important about your goals is every single day you can wake up and you can say, all right, I'm going to wake up and how can I achieve these goals? And is what I'm doing right now achieving these goals possible? So step 1 is making sure that you write down your goals. So now we're going to go to step 2 of 4. This is also extremely crucial that you must do and you must start today, is monthly income. And what I like to call what's coming in and what's going out. You need to understand how much money you're getting from work or you're getting from your income sources, and how much your expenses are. So in this example here, we're taking a look at our total work revenues, which say it's $5,000 per month, or maybe income if it's after taxes, and your total expenses, which is $3,000, how much money is left over. So personally for me, I've been tracking this for years, and month-by-month basis, I'll sit down for 15 minutes and I'll see how much I made, and I'll type it in the Excel sheet. I'll type down all my expenses, my credit card, my mortgage, and everything to understand this number. You need to understand how much money you're bringing in every single month. Say you want to have $1 million and you're bringing in $1,000 a month after your expenses. Then you know it's going to take you so many years. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to go over these numbers with your money left over, how that can get you to $1 million or how long that's going to take you. So super important. You can do it on Excel and save it every single month or Google Sheets, or you can do it by writing down. But you need to understand how much you're making, how much you're spending, and then at the end of the day, how much money you have left over to save for an emergency fund, for a vacation, for, most importantly, to invest that money to turn it into more money. So now, we got step 1, set your goals. Step 2, determine your monthly income. And now we're going to go into step number 3, is an emergency fund. A lot of you have heard of this, but you may not have been directed to go to a certain place to keep this money that was important for you. So before we go into ally.com, we're going to talk a little bit about what an emergency fund is. An emergency fund is 3 to 6 months of expenses, something that is very crucial for you to do. Because say you're working and you did you did step number 1, you got your goals in place. You got step number 2, you know how much money you're bringing in, how much is going out. Well, say you only have one income source, unfortunately, and everyone should try to get as many income sources as possible. And say that income source goes away and you get hurt at work or you lose your job. What money do you have left over to provide for your family or provide for yourself and pay the bills? This is what this emergency fund is for, and you need to calculate 3 to 6 months of expenses to understand that. So using step 2, you can see how much money you're spending every single month to make sure that you can cover that. So a great place to put it is ally.com. So ally.com is currently giving a 1.8%, not the best marker, but a 1.8% interest rate on your money. And the reason why it's a great place to hold this and why it's an online savings account is because they limit you to the number of transactions you can do every single month. Ally is very reputable. They've been around since the early 1900s, based out of Detroit, where you can keep your emergency fund. They limit you to 6 transactions a month, and you can keep your money in there, and it'll grow at a 1.8% rate. So keep that money in there, except for emergencies. And personally for me, I sleep a lot better at night knowing that I have X amount of dollars in the bank in case I wake up tomorrow and my income sources are gone, and that'll give me 3 to 6 months worth of time to find a new job, to get that income, to make sure that I can support my family or support myself. So we're going into the 8-minute mark of 20, and now we're going to go over probably what a lot of you are here to see, which is going to be the investing portion. And I'm going to make sure I go into a lot of detail with this, probably for the next 10 minutes, going over the investing the aspect on the next 2 pages. So investing, it's like, okay, Michael, I got my goals down. I want to have $1 million in 15 years. I really want to do that. Okay, I'm tracking it. I'm making $5,000 a month. I'm spending $2,000 a month. I'm doing well, and I'm retaining $3,000 a month. But what do I do with this $3,000 after I filled up my emergency fund? What can I do? So I believe, and in my opinion, and what I do, is I invest in the stock market because A, it's passive, you don't have to do anything. And a lot of people ask me, just recently someone asked me, well, Michael, you have to spend every single day looking at the market. How much time do you have to spend a week looking at the market? And I would say it's very limited. I think before you get into this, you should take a look at these each day and see what's happening, how it's fluctuating, but you don't have to spend a lot of time, and that's why I love it. So we're start right at the beginning. There are 2 types of companies out there that you can potentially invest in. There's public companies and there's private companies. But what we're going to be talking about today is public companies. Public companies are owned by basically anyone who holds a share. Private companies would be like StockX, based out of Detroit, how they don't have any publicly traded shares. Or you could take a look at maybe a mom and pop shop where the mom and the dad own the place. But public companies, which is included what we're talking about today, are companies that sell portions of their business off. So they sell 100% of the business. And if you go buy shares in their company, which you can do in any publicly traded company at any time, that you can own a piece of the company and you can make sure that you get dividends and also get the capital gains as it goes up. So what I like to do is probably the most trusted method that has one of the best track history over time is the S&P 500. So for you, those of you who don't know, the S&P 500 stands for Standard & Poor 500. The Standard & Poor is a company that selects 500 of the best US-based companies in multiple different areas. So something that's good about the S&P 500 is it's going to be the best companies in the US. It's going to be diversified, and most of them pay a dividend as well. A dividend is going to be quarterly payments that these companies pay out to the shareholders or their owners. When you buy a share in Apple, you're technically an owner, whether that's 0.000%, and they will pay you every single quarter, every 3 months, a piece of money. So, the S&P 500, it's going to look like this. I mean, I sketched this up based off of a picture, but it's going to be very volatile, and it's going to bounce around. You know, I think that a lot of people should make sure they're watching this before they invest in it, you know, on a day-to-day basis to make sure they kind of know what's going on. So the S&P 500 is going to go up and down and all over the place. But over time, it's going to be a trend line that's going to work its way up. And what's really important to know is, like I said, over time, it's going to give you about an 8% average gain and about a 1% dividend per year. So you're going to average about 9% per year on your money over time. But something that you need to do, and that's extremely crucial, is dollar cost averaging. And dollar cost averaging is buying every single time that you get paid, or buying every certain period or not. You need to make sure you're buying when it's going up, when it's going down, when it's buying left, when it's going left, and when it's going right. Well, Michael, why don't I just buy all of it right here? Or why don't I sell everything here, buy here, sell here, buy here, and so on? Why do I do that? Why don't I do that? Well, based off of experience, no one knows what the market's exactly going to do over time. We don't know what's going to go up, when it's going to go down for the most part. No one can track it because it's based on buyers and sellers. If a lot of people want to buy, you know, parts of the market, it's going to go up because there's a higher demand for it. If people want to sell, it's going to go down. So you cannot time the market. No one's been able to do it very effectively. So you want to make sure that you dollar cost average. You want to buy every single time that you get paid and continue to buy in it over time, knowing in the short term I may not know where this is going. It may be going down, it may be going up, it may be going all over the place. But I'm buying it at every price, knowing that over time we're going up at about 9% per year, and we add that dividend, which is really, really important. Something else to note, you need to think about it like this. When the stock market's going down, everybody freaks out. 2008, 2009, crash. You know, early 2000s, crash. You need to think about when the stock market's going down, it's selling at a discount. So all of a sudden this was $200 a share here, and it got cut in half down to $100. You're now buying something that's going to average 9% per year at a discounted value. So that's why you want to buy it over time. It's really important. Well, Michael, that's awesome. S&P 500 sounds great. I can get 9% per year on average. How can I buy it? Vanguard.com is where I do my investments for index funds. Index funds are something that tracks a certain index, like the S&P 500. These are the 3 ways to invest directly in the S&P 500 online. VOO, you can buy it as individual shares, like $250 a piece. VFINX, it's going to be a minimum of $3,000 to start there. And VFIAX starts at $10,000. Well, what's the difference between these 3? These are individual shares, and it's not going to cost you money to buy a piece of it. So say you buy a stock from Apple, from Fidelity or Vanguard, it's going to cost you $5 or $7 per buy and per sell. These aren't going to cost you any money to buy or sell the position outside of taxes when you sell. But the VOO, you have to buy it at the share price, which the share price is like $230 right now or so. Where VFINX, you can invest any dollar amount at any time. So I think this is really good here. Also, at the end, I will answer some questions, but this is the basic things I look into. So for those of you who have been paying attention and are writing this down, you need to make sure that you write down these ticker symbols of what you can get into to invest in the S&P 500 to get 9% per year. Not investment advice. Okay, well, Michael, that's awesome. I know the 4 steps. How long is it going to take me to become a millionaire if I use these tactics, use these steps? Well, it just depends. This is going to be 50, not 5. So when will I become a millionaire if I do this tactic? I did number 2. I'm seeing how much money I'm retaining per month. I got my emergency fund filled up. Great. I can put in, after all that, I can put in $100 a month. How long is it going to take me to become a millionaire? 50 years. It's going to take a long time. You got to make sure you're getting your income up. What about $1,000 per month? I can do that, Michael. It's going to take you 25 years. hey, this started to look a little bit better. I can invest about $2,000 per month. It's going to take you 19 years to become a millionaire. It's not too bad. $3,000 per month. I'm doing well. I'm increasing my income. I'm lowering my expenses. It's going to take about 15 years. You're 20 years old right now. That's going to take you 15 years. You'll be 35 years old if you can find a way to put $3,000 in one of those investments over time. What about 5,000, 12 years? What if I'm 40 years old, what if I'm 45 years old, I'm making a very good income. I'm making $150,000 per year and my expenses are really low. I don't have very many payments. It could take you 8 years if you have nothing in an account and you invest $10,000 per month. So this is how long it's going to take. So you really want to aim for, these two areas, $2,000, $3,000. $1,000 isn't bad either. If you're 25 years old, you'll be 50. If you're 25 years old, you'll be 46 or 44 or how many ever. It's really crucial here. So that's how long it's going to take. So as we go right into our 20-minute mark, I want to break down a review of kind of what we talked about today and what's important, and also our $20 question for the day. So for review, write down your financial goals. Make sure you write it down on a piece of paper. You post it somewhere where you're going to see it, so you know where you're going, what you're trying to do, whether that's $1 million, $100,000, $20 million. Super crucial. Monthly income. You're making sure you're writing down your revenue/income per month. You're also subtracting out your expenses to say, I know I'm pulling in $2,000 a month that I can invest after I've filled up my emergency fund, after I've paid off these things. That's how much I got left over. After you've calculated that, you fill up emergency fund, you got 3 to 6 months of expenses. You break your leg, you can't work. You lose your job, you can't work. This money's there to provide and feed your family, which is really crucial. Investing. Now you got this money left over, filled up. You know what's going on. I got $2,000 outside of that. Where can I invest? You look into VOO, VFINX, VFIAX. You can look into that through Vanguard to invest there with very low cost expense ratios. So, for the question of the day, for those of you who have stuck around, what is number 2 of the 4 F's that I talked about in the first place? No answer. How many people are on?
14 total.
All right, does anyone know the third F? We'll do something a little bit easier. When it comes down to the last page that we talked about, how long would it take us to get to, if we invested $10,000 a month? Well, let's just say this. What index fund did I talk about in the investing tab?
You had 2 answers of family.
Nice. So Emily, I will get your Venmo after this, and I will send you $20. So thank you guys very much for tuning in today and kind of learning about this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to DM me or contact me in any way. I hope this brought value. If you guys want me to do any other videos in the future, just let me know. So I had a great time. Hope this can help you. It certainly helped me get closer and closer to becoming a millionaire, and I'm glad I could share it with you guys today. So thanks for tuning in.